Minister Jonathan Moyo, who heads the Media, Information and Broadcasting Services, reported to Parliament on Thursday that the government needs 1.8 billion rands. This figure will go towards migrating existing transmitters and the studios of the national ZBC, the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation, to digital broadcasting. The ZBC is set to swallow up much of the budget. Digitizing the ZBC alone will require over 700 million rands, with an additional 50 million to help kickstart digital programming. And then there is also the huge ZBC debt the government will help pay for. R500 million will go towards servicing that debt. An additional 100 million will be spent to skill ZBC employees for digital television. The government is expected to auction long-term evolution spectrum to mobile operators for broadcasting in order to finance the complete digitization migration.
The Zimbabwean government has been talking about digitization from way before Grace Mugabe even had thoughts of becoming Comrade Grace Mugabe. It's 2022 and no one knows where former Comrade Grace Mugabe is, and still digitization is nowhere near complete. Zimbabwe was one of the first countries in Africa to get broadcast television back in 1960 when it was still Rhodesia. Only Nigeria and Egypt got it before us. At the time, America only had 3 television channels: ABC, CBS, and NBC. 63 years later, America now has over 1,900 television stations. Nigeria has 96 and Egypt has 17, while Zimbabwe has 2.5. The point is, almost every country in Africa has overtaken us when it comes to broadcasting technology. Is this because we don't have the brains or the money to see this through? Or is there a third hand behind the scenes that is happy to keep ZBCtv as the primary source of television programming? Because how else do you explain losing a 63-year head start? Like how? Ladies and gentlemen, war vets and unfocused youth, welcome to another episode of Propaganda with Kandoro. In broadcasting, digitization refers to the practice of using digital signals over analog. Analog systems like the ones ZBC uses transmit audio and visual signals over the airwaves in a similar way to radio stations. The same way Star FM is on 89.7 and ZFM is on 106.4, ZBC has its own dedicated frequency. And very much like radio signals, analog transmission declines the further away you are from the source.
Kondiana ngajamisa area kunoku. Kana makuda zvachamisa ngotaura kuti makuda zvachamisa. Munojamisa area makambojamisa area imi. Makuvharisa manje. Yagadzirise zvamakangaza. Makuvharisa manje.
But a digital TV signal transmits in packets of compressed data, which means it does not experience the same kind of signal loss. And one digital transmitter can carry up to 24 high-definition television channels. What makes digitization very important, especially in a country like Zimbabwe, is that beyond better signals, digitization is also about improving the existing systems through technology, with a view to decrease operating costs and increase efficiency. I know the guys at the Shake building don't care anything about efficiency, but you would think they would at the very least, be interested in decreasing operation costs, right? Because less operation costs means more money for your what? If Zimbabwe was to fully digitize, it would mean the cost of entry into the broadcasting space would be greatly reduced, allowing for a more diverse media industry. But that right there seems to be the problem.
No. A diverse media industry is a no. Is a no. Because diverse means different. And different is not good. It's not good. We need to have one story as a nation. One story. Because we have one leader. One. So we need to be united. We need to be one on this. So one TV channel. No, end of. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any more back and forth.
In 2020, the Broadcasting Association of Zimbabwe tried to hoodwink the whole country into believing that they'd broken ZBC's monopoly on the airwaves by awarding 6 licenses to independent broadcasters. A Kesa research revealed that all 6 licenses had been given to government proxies. The most obvious one being ZTN, which is owned by Zim Papers, which you know Zim Papers. Kumba TV, licensed under Acacia Media, is owned by Sharon Mugabe, who is wife to Housing and Amenities Minister Daniel Garu. 3K TV, licensed under Jester Media, is owned by the Daily News, which lists Minister of State for Harare Oliver Chidau as one of its shareholders. NRA TV, licensed under Rusnunguko Media, is owned by the Ministry of Defense, and we already got a taste of their kind of programming back in 2017. Channel Zimbabwe is fronted by former ZBC CEO Hebison Mcheteteri, and Kiona TV is owned by Fairto Communications, which has former ZEC Deputy Chairperson Kubani Moyo as a shareholder. But despite all these entities being government proxies, these companies have not been immune to the prohibitive costs of setting up a television network. Of the 6 licenses, only 1 is actually launched. Everything that the government has done with regards to digitization feels like a charade, because it is. Feels like a charade meant to disguise and distract from their true intentions. It's been one excuse and missed deadline after the other. Initially, SADC set the 31st of December 2013 as the deadline for the region to avoid international isolation. Zimbabwe missed that deadline but vowed to meet the International Telecommunications Union deadline of 17 June 2015. Guess what happened? Guess? No, serious, guess. The last official digitization update was back in 2019, and it stated that digitization was still at 37% progress. Whenever the government has been asked about the lack of progress, they always bring up the classics. Budget cuts and data. But you want to guess how many cars have been bought for my chef and my chiefs? How many private flights and holidays have been booked to the tender pandemic? None of this is original. Back in the 1960s, the apartheid government in South Africa, by virtue of being the most technologically advanced African nation at the time, had an opportunity to become the first country to bring television on its shores, but they said, they just didn't trust it. They somehow felt that it would loosen their grip on power. Television only became a thing in South Africa in 1975, a full 15 years after Rhodesia had launched their broadcast television. It's a huge contradiction that the government wants us to believe it's doing all it can to digitize Zimbabwe's broadcast industry, and yet the Broadcasting Act limits direct foreign investment to only 20%. Let's take a quick look at the numbers. You need 2,500 for the initial application for a TV license, and a further 7,500 at the second stage, which includes a public inquiry. That's 10,000 US dollars. And it's not refundable. If you do get the TV license, you will need to pay 15,000 per year and 1% of your gross turnover. Given the capital-intensive nature of the industry, only ZANU-PF and its friends can participate. So many numbers have been thrown in the air when it comes to digitization, but these are the only numbers that matter. 42, 1, and 2. It's almost 42 years after independence. Only one party has been in real control, but there's only 2 TV stations to show for it. 2023 is coming. This has been another episode of Properganda with Kandoro, and if everything goes well, I'll catch you registered voted next week.